I hope all of you are having a great day today. And in this video, I'm going to explain why I chose my 2015 Mustang GT over other muscle cars such as the Challenger, Charger, and the Camaro. And I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and let's get to it. Alright guys, so I'm going to start off with the most important reason of why I got this car. So number one is going to be, it's more of a personal thing to myself. So my dad had a 2001 blue Mustang GT, and that was the first sports car I ever seen my dad have. And he absolutely loved that car, and I was very young when he got it. I'm 24, I'm turning 25 in a couple months. I was in middle school, so I was probably like 10 years old, 11 years old. And when I saw this car, I thought this car was amazing. And I saw how much joy it brought to my dad, to the point where it made me happy. And as my dad had that car, he did so many modifications to it. And when I was younger, I liked cars, but I think that's what really grew my passion for it, honestly. Because over time, I was molded to like cars because my dad really was into them too. So my dad had a 2001 Mustang GT, and he had a full exhaust. I believe he had a tune. I know he had a throttle body, headers, so full bolt-ons. He had an intake, and this car was so loud. And maybe I was just young, and I thought it was loud. And I talked to my dad recently about it, but that car was so loud that you couldn't, even if you tried to, I'm not even exaggerating, talk to the person next to you. You couldn't talk. Obviously, if you can't talk, you can't even use the radio. And I've been in loud cars before, but you can always still talk louder or yell, and you can still hear. But this car, you couldn't hear a thing. And like I said, I saw how much joy that car gave to my dad, and that really had a huge impression on myself at a young age. And a couple years later, my dad sold that Mustang, and that was when gas prices were super high at that time. He sold that car, had a couple cars in between, but he said he missed the Mustang, so we got a 2007 Mustang, did full bolt-ons again. He had a K&N intake, Magnaflow catback exhaust, tune. He did all these mods to his 2007 Mustang. And what was awesome that made me love Mustangs was my dad actually gave me that car before college for a couple of years. I was able to drive it, and that was my car. And I'm an import guy. I'm an import person. I love imports. My first choice of car was a Subaru WRX STI, and I ended up getting this car over it because this car is absolutely amazing. But I am an import guy, and because my dad had these two Mustangs, and I saw how much joy it brought him, and it had a huge impact on me growing up, to the point where the Mustang always has a place, it's always going to be a part of me. And growing up, I've always wanted one, and I've always wanted a Subaru, a Evo STI. I always wanted a 350Z growing up. That was my dream car. And obviously like supercars like GTRs, and I always, you know what I mean? I was always an import guy. And my dad had a huge impression on me picking this car. And when I was getting this car, he was definitely supporting me getting it. He helped me get this car, which I am really appreciative of it. And let's go to reason number two now. The second reason why I got this car is it's huge, and it's how the interior and the exterior look compared to the other cars. And honestly, this is all my opinion, everything I'm saying here, the interior of this is phenomenal compared to the other cars. And I did get the premium package, so I do have the leather seats with the awesome stereo system with the full nav, which I definitely showed this in other videos before, but I'll give you a look now. I mean, everything from the steering wheel, how it feels, to how this navigation works, how the Bluetooth is, from just the little things such as the stitching on the seats, the leather on the sides, how soft everything is in the car here, and there's no crappy plastic, to little details such as this little Mustang emblem that says Mustang since 1964. It's the little things like that that made this car stand up to the others. And yeah, all the cars did improve their interiors over time, but I feel like the Mustang and Ford definitely stepped up their game the most. And the exterior, I don't know where to start. First of all, the body lines of this car make this car look so aggressive. And there's a couple things about the older Mustangs. I think I'm kind of biased, obviously, because I had Mustangs before. So with the 2007 Mustang, and the 2005 was the first year of the retro Mustang. So with our 2007 that I had, that car out of the factory looked like a monster truck. It wasn't lifted, but stock, the springs were so high. So off the bat, that car needed to be lowered to look aggressive. With the 2015 Mustangs, this comes in a stance. And I mean, I do have the performance pack in this, but because it's the newer Mustang, it looks lowered already. It's in a perfect stance where I don't need coilovers or springs, and maybe I would get them for performance reasons, but it looks the way I want it to already, as stance-wise. And that is huge. And another thing is, from compared to my 2007 to this one, is the driving position in this car. I guess not the position, but how the seating is. In the old Mustangs, 2007, or even like 2005 to 2010, 11 to 14, those cars, I felt like I was driving on top of the car, if that makes sense. Like driving position, I felt like I was on top of the car, not driving inside like a race car. Because for me, when I'm driving a car, I want to feel like I'm inside of it and I'm in control, and I feel like I'm lower and it feels like a race car. And Ford did a great job and they made the right changes to make this car feel like that. It doesn't just look lowered from the outside, but from the inside too. I mean, from the inside too, in the driving position here, I feel like I'm inside the car and I'm in a great driving position. And the third reason why I got this car, and it kind of goes off of number 2, is, like I said, driving position and how it feels to drive this car and the experience of driving it. And I know it's different when you test drive a car compared to owning a car. When you own a car, you have the experience of driving it for an extended period of time and you notice more things about it. But when I was test driving these cars, this car, when it has sport mode, I can put it into sport mode, and just the exhaust roars, and it feels amazing. Everything feels so smooth and refined with this car. And those other cars are absolutely phenomenal. I'm not saying those cars are bad by all means. This is like a personal preference of why I got this car. But personally for me, this car is, the driving experience is awesome. It has 435 horsepower, which is a great horsepower for daily driving, and it's obviously fast. And I'm able to have so much fun every day. And the thing is, when I get into my car here, I look forward, because people, an average person gets up and they dread driving to work every morning because they have to go through with their day for different reasons. For me, I do love my jobs right now, but I've had jobs where I didn't like, but as long as I'm driving this car, I wake up in the morning, I'm excited to drive it. I'm excited to wake up every morning, get into this car, and get going. And even when I get off work, or I'm driving friends around, or I'm driving places, I enjoy driving this car. I drive it for fun. Like at night sometimes when I'm bored or I have to clear my head, I just hop in the car and I love it. I have a great time driving this car. And honestly, driving experience is so important while getting a new sports car. Because there's cars that are super, super fast and they're considered supercars, but the driving experience of it isn't great. And when I mean that, like, it doesn't feel like, go, you have the right of way, man. Okay. So the driving experience is huge in this car, and I have so much fun driving, and honestly I could have had a lot of fun in those other cars, but first impressions of driving this car, I absolutely loved it. And like I said, I may be biased, and I am biased because my dad had a Mustang before, and that's one of the main reasons why I bought it. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. This was kind of random, but I felt like it was a good topic to touch on. Ooh, okay. I hope you all have a great day today. Like and subscribe, and there'll be more videos to come, and I'll talk to you guys later. Peace.